Hi there YouTube, and this time it is a deck profile for Yosenju Kaiju. Now this is a bit of an anti-meta deck, which I quite like to play. It's a little bit of a fun deck, but in part it does require you to go second. It prefers you to go second, should I say, because of the Kaiju part, but at the same time you can also go first to set up. So we'll jump straight into it, and I'm going to go through the Kaijus first and then all the Yosenjus. So we have two Yosenju, the Star Destroying Kaiju, two of the Mystery Dust Kaiju, which is Mothman, two Gamma Seals and two Radians. Two of each, all that's really needed, to be honest. Obviously you use the lower attacked ones to drop onto your opponent's monsters and summon out the higher attack ones on your side. Onto the Yosenjus, we have 3 Karma 2, 3 Karma 1, 3 Karma 3 for the main part of the Yosenjus, because they can all special summon each other, normal summon each other out, and 1 Yosenju Tsujic. It's only there just to give them a boost, basically. All the Yosenjus have the effects during the end phase. They bounce back to hand. Karma 2 can attack your opponent directly, but the damage it does is halved. Karma 1 is your compulsory evac device. Basically returns any target one face-up card your opponent controls and returns it to the hand. So it works really well with the Kaijus, because you say summon out a Gamma Seal on top of one of theirs. If they've got 2 monsters, normal summon out all of your Yosenjus, activate Karma 1's effect, bounce the Kaiju back and then resummon it over the other monster. So just really handy. But it can only be used. That effect can only be used once while it's face up on the field. So you only get the 1 bounce, but sometimes that's all you need. Karma 3 is your searcher. Any battle damage done by another Yosenju card, and it will search out another Yosenju from your deck, except for itself. And as I said, Tsujic gives a boost, so during either player's damage step, when a Yosenju monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can discard this card and that monster you control gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. Or if it's on the field, you can target 1 Yosenju monster on the field and it gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. So, as I said, it's there purely for the boost. I then run 1 Terraforming, because I wanted to try and keep this deck as close to 40 cards as I could, and I've managed to get it to 40. Otherwise I would be playing 2 of these. 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, let's just clear that, just to help with board clearances. Just really funny if you're going second. It can OTK quite nicely. 2 MSTs, because you don't want to discard to grave with the likes of Twin Twister. You could possibly get away with running cards like Cosmic Cyclone, as if needed, because you don't really pay any life points with this deck. But the problem with that is during your opponent's turn, normally sometimes you don't have any monsters on your field, because of all the Yosenjus bouncing back. 3 Tenki, in before banlist drops and reduces the number of Tenkis we have. I can see it happening. I'm just going to say that I can see it happening because of Zodiacs being able to run this at 3 as well, because they're all Beast Warriors. It's just becoming a little bit too much of a dirty card, to be honest, and it's too versatile now. So I can see that getting hit. But until then, I'm running it at 3. We have 1 Dimensional Vision, which is just really funny because any monster sent to the grave is banished instead the only monsters that you've got that are going to hit the graveyard really are your Kaijus that you're putting on your opponent's turn, or your Yosenjus if you've had to use them as XE material. They're the only cards that are going to get banished. 2 Kaiju Waterfront, which is the Kaiju field spell. As soon as it gets 3 counters on it, you've got a free search each turn. Plus you can remove 1 counter if they try and destroy it to save itself, and its counters come in handy for the Kaiju cards themselves. Onto the traps, we have 3 Mirror Force. The reason I'm running 3 normal Mirror Force over something like Quaking is because I don't own any Quaking. Don't hate me for it, I've never played with Quaking Mirror Forces in the deck. If I had them, I would change them to Quaking Mirror Force, just because it can help shut down your opponent a little bit more, but at the same time this clears all the attack position ones off the board, which is another reason why I'd look at changing it, because it only destroys the attack position monsters. So I'm looking at other Mirror Forces that I can run. 1 Torrential Tribute, because you only have monsters on the field in your opponent's turn, so if they open up their board too much you can just go, don't bother, and flip that and destroy everything. 1 Vanity's Emptiness, because apart from all of your Yosenju's normal summon, including through their effects, so it's not going to stop you from using them, but it does unfortunately stop you using the Kaiju side of it. And because they return to hand and are not sent to the grave, it doesn't activate its effect to destroy itself. 1 Macrocosmos, just to make sure that you can banish those cards that your opponent's using, and again because your Yosenju's bounce back to hand, they're not going to get banished. So, and it does open up your little Vanity's Macro lock. Do be aware that Macrocosmos can be solemn warned, because the first effect of Macrocosmos, which allows you to be able to special summon a primordial sun. So yes, you can solemn warn it because it has the effect of summon. I found through one of my very good friends who's also a judge, which was really when we found that, when we worked that one out and realised it. And then 3 solemn strikes and a solemn warning. So yeah, we're going to start with the one and only rank 3 that's in here, and I'm trying to see why that's in here now. Oh yeah, that's in here because of the side deck. It's not in there because of the current, as the main deck as it stands. It's in there purely for the side deck, which we'll go over in a bit. 2 Gaga Cowboys for the OTK-ness of this deck. It's just really funny. You summon it, you get, if you've got 1, 2, 3 and Sujik in your hand, you attack with all of them, leaves your opponent on 1600 or less, depending on if you've got any Tenkies active, and then you can overlay into 2 of these in defense mode, attach 1 XE from each and burn for another for 800. It's been so long since I've seen it used / used it myself, I'd actually forgotten that bit. But there's another 1600 damage that you can do to your opponent, which will normally be game. 2 Abyss Dweller. The reason I put these in here is because when I last played this deck at a competitive level, BAs were a massive thing at the time, and they like to use, and obviously they like to use their graveyard, so I turned around and went, no you don't, let's stop you using your graveyard, you are not going to go off big time. And it just works really well. 1 Gaga Samurai, because it can detach 1, target itself to attack twice with 1900 attack, or you can, if you've got Gaga Cowboy out and Samurai, you can target the Cowboy to attack twice. use Cowboy's effect to detach one, and this monster gains 1,000 attack, and the monster it's attacking loses 500 attack during the damage step. So that can be really funny if you know you can get over them. 2 Lightning Chidori. All of the Yosenjus are wind, so this is just again another little funny card. Good, well, I say funny good card. No, it's just a general good card in the deck, because they are all winds. When you first XE summon it, you target a set card your opponent controls and return it to the bottom of the deck. Detach one, target one face up card, return that to the top of the deck. So you know exactly what they're going to be drawing next turn. So if it's a face up card that you know they aren't going to benefit off of, detach one, put it on the top of the deck, and turn around and go, have fun. 1 Brotherhood of the Five Fist Tiger King to help get out your 10 key. It also negates the effects of all face up effect monsters currently on the field if you detach one. And because they are all beast warrior types, the Yosenjus, yep, they are all beast warriors. It does allow you, if it is sent, no, you won't be able to do that one unless you have all 3 10 keys face up. If you have all 3 face up 10 keys, you can send all 3 of them to the graveyard to special summon 2 level 4 or lower beast warrior types from your, with the same attack from your deck into defense position, so it can open up a couple of more, it could open up another Xyz play. Kangorgan, the anti-luminescent knight, just really funny because you can redirect an effect. Dark Rebellion, beat stick. Deltaros, because it's so easy to get 3 level 4s on the board, and then you can detach one, target a card on the field, destroy it. Don't use it for its effect if it's sent from field to grave. 1 Gemnite Pearl, just because 1 Knight Papilloperative and 1 Evil Swarm Ouroboros. Now, yes, the extra deck is there. No, you don't always need to go into it, because the deck can OTK if you get the right hands. So yeah, that's there. So onto the side deck, and to use the side deck, I normally side in all 15 side deck cards and side out my Yosenju part of my deck, and it very nicely balances out 15-15. So when I'm siding out, I'll side out all my Karma 2s, all my Karma 1s, all my Karma 3s, my Sujik. So that's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with the 10 keys. So 2 more is normally will be Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure, because of the gradal effects of when they go to grave. So I'll side out the Dimensional Fissure and the Macrocosmos so that I can use them. So the side deck consists of 3 Gradal Eagle, which if it's destroyed by monster effect or battle and sent to your graveyard, you can then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and equip this card to that target. And when it's equipped, you take control of that monster, which is that last part. While a monster is equipped by this with a Gradle, you get control of it, so it's a walking snatch still. Gradle Eagle is, they're all if they're destroyed by battle, and they're all if they're destroyed by another effect. So Gradle Eagle is monsters, hence the yellow. Gradle Cobra, which I run 3 of, is if it's destroyed by battle or trap effect. 3 Gradle Alligator by battle or spell effect. So you've got 3 different ways that they cards there, and each one of them have 2 ways of getting out, and they're all if they're destroyed by battle. And then the second destruction part is the colour of the Gradle basically. So Eagle being yellow is monsters, Cobra traps because it's pinky purple, and Alligator is green, which is your spells. 2 Gradle Impact, which is really funny, because if your opponent's got 2 monsters on the field and you've got Gradle, or well any other Gradle card on the field, you can then activate this, destroy your Gradle and one of their monsters, or any one of their cards, and then you get the Gradle's effect. If it's Alligator, you'll get Alligator's effect off of this, because it's been destroyed by a spell effect. During your end phase, you can add one Gradle card from deck to hand. So apologies if you can hear all the dings. That's my Facebook Messenger going off like a madman. There's somebody messaging me, but I have it open on my phone, so I'm reading it that way. So hopefully now it's open on my phone. It shouldn't go ding too much on my laptop. Probably still will though. 2 Gradle split, which is just really, really funny. Because this basically allows you to equip to one of your opponent's monsters, which is really, really funny, because your opponent doesn't expect it. And then you can destroy this monster, the monster and this card that this card's equipped to, by sending this card to the graveyard. And if you do, you special summon 2 Gradle monsters with different names from your deck, but destroy them during the end phase, so it just helps you basically steal your opponent's monsters. And then 2 Gradle Parasite. Again, this one allows you to special summon a Gradle from your deck in attack position when your opponent declares a direct attack. And if you control no monsters, when a Gradle monster you control declares the direct attack, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon that target to their side of the field if they control no monsters. So then you attack into it, and then you can steal it, basically. So yeah, there's that deck profile for you. One of my mates did manage to get 5th at a regional that had 60 to 62 players at it. Towards the start of last year, possibly the year before, can't remember the year, but they did manage to actually get 5th at a regional with this deck, which was actually really, really funny. They just missed out on the deck box. So yeah, it can be quite competitive. It does literally depend on your draws, so it can be a little bit of a bricky deck if you draw all Kaijus and your opponent basically doesn't summon anything. So if you're going first and you draw into all Kaijus, you're kind of screwed these days, because quite a few decks can OTK, but at the same time it can go off big time. So yeah, there's that deck profile for you. Let us know what you think down below. Please also give it a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.